and the LLM ops part. Okay, so let's see what we can cover it. Okay, so coming to this, the LLM ops part first. So let's define it. What is LLM ops? When you say LLM ops, so it is nothing but it's kind of a DevOps only. Okay, so it's a DevOps for the systems. Okay, and the core component is again, the DevOps only. Okay, so DevOps we know, right? So it's like a development plus personalization of the models. Okay, you ship the code, right? Similar way, if you have some of the machine learning model, how you can ship it, and then you can make it your application live, how you can operationalize it. Okay, after the operations, your model is in the the operation phase, how you can track those, that how much drift is within those models and how your application is performing. That is your machine learning. If your application is based on predictions, regression, recommendation engine design, classical machine learning that you have used. So that is your ML ops. But when it comes to LLM ops, it's more complex because now you have applications, you have a prompts, a lot of APIs, how you can ship it in a code, right? So how you can ship those codes so that your applications can be used at the other end by the end user. But again, making those generative AI applications or agentic AI applications live is not solving our issue. It's again the life starts after once you deploy our LLM, or Gen AI agentic AI application. So when I say LLM ops, I'm referring to some of the applications, some of the generative AI or agentic AI solutions. So how you can measure it once your application is in the productions. So you once your model is live, how you can judge the quality of the model performance, how you can gauge the cost, how you can calculate the cost, that if someone is using or using your chat bot, then how much it is incurring the cost, the cost per tokens. Okay, so these things are very much challenging when you work as a Gen AI and agentic AI engineer. But again, operationalization is something, because nowadays everybody wants, every single client wants their applications to be in a productions, because what is the use of building the applications and not making it alive? It doesn't make any sense, right? So that is why the operationalizations are the key element in any of the the, you can say, the job role that you will apply for, right? So the applications that I will talk about, it's a Crew AI. It's a Crew AI based framework. Okay, I'll show you the code as well. So this is using, the code is using, the application is using Crew AI agent. Okay, and there are two things inside that. This is the tool and this is your LLM. I'm using open source LLM to show you that how you can use, the open source, or you can use it any of the LLM. For example, you can use it OpenAI GPT's based model, Claude. Maybe you can use, the Gemini models. So this is nothing but a, LLM, but this is your a tool. So whenever you add tool to LLM, then we call it as an agent. So right now, what we will do today, in this session is to deploy our first agent. That is our Crew AI. Okay. So how we are going to do that? So before I deep dive into this, let me show you the code first. Okay. So let me just share my screen once again, and let's see the code that I just want to show you people. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, and once it is visible, you just thumbs up so that I'll understand that the code is visible to you. Okay. So this is the code basically. As a LLM ops engineer, you do not need to write these codes, but at least because you people will be involved in operationalizing these codes, these applications. So you must have understanding of the core concepts of the applications, that how it is built, because ultimately you have to find the if some bugs comes, then you can go back to the developer that this is the bugs that I found out while operationalizing the model, right? So the few things are there. If you go here, there are few things. So how to read this? If you have been given any of the applications, then how you are going to read these applications? So first, there is one file you will always see. There is something called readme.md. So here, a lot of things are written in readme.md. So the agent that we are talking today is agent.py file. But what this agent will do, basically, this is one agent that will scrap a web page and it will summarize for you. So this is the one agent that we are trying to deploy it. For example, this agent will scrap a web page. For example, I have passed one URL www.google.com slash, let's say, English book or something. So that URL, whatever content is there on that web page, that will be scrapped, and then we will pass it to the LLM, then it will summarize it. So this is the entire task of one agent. Okay. Same thing we are trying to achieve it through a framework called Crew AI. So coming to, there are different, file folder structures here. We'll go one by one and we'll try to understand it, what it, make, what is the significance of these files and folders. Then we have something called, requirement.txt. So these are the libraries basically. Okay. Then you have something called, .env. So .env is your all the dependencies and that you need to execute these applications. For example, LLM. So here I'm using Grok based hosted LLM. So that is why I'm using this API key. Firecrawl API keys. This is one of the tools. Okay. So that is why for these tools, I'm using this Firecrawl APIs. Firecrawl is kind of a web scraping. Okay. So these two things I'm using it for my, first agent that we will be deploying it. And quickly, if you come to few more, the file folders, there is something called config.file. So whatever you see inside our .environmental variable that you see here, that is there inside my, .env. So we have created one configurations files, and in this one, we are calling, the LLMs that we have and the Grok model, whatever you want to use it, and Firecrawl. Okay, Firecrawl. So it is loading whatever was there in .env. Okay. Then we have something called main.py file, and we have something called agent.py. So in this agent, what we are trying to do in this one, we are trying to define the Crew AI. So if you see this one, this is a framework, this is a module. Crew AI is a agentic framework that is used for orchestration. Okay. So don't go by the code, because this will be, this will be given to you by one of the developer, maybe GenAI developer or agentic AI developer or AI engineer will give you. Okay. But at least you understand this code. So this is the framework it is used here. And what this agent.py is doing, it is getting the, details from config.py module, the LLM informations, and Firecrawl is a tool. Okay, two things. This is a function. It is a function calling. Means it will fetch the website informations from this Firecrawl. This is a key. This is again a tool, and it will pass to the LLM. Okay. So in this agent, we are trying to define it. So in this agent, if you see, we are defining this agent. Up to here, you are defining this agent. So this agent, the name of this agent is Wave Research Analyst Agent. Okay. And what is the goal of this agent is to read the web page and explain it. Okay. And the backstory you are trying to give, backstory means what this agent will perform. And then we are attaching this tool and passing it to the LLM. And verbose means if you get some errors or anything, it is like all the logs. If you off it, you will not capture the logs. So that is why this research analyst agent, will do all these tasks. So we are trying to define this agent, and this is a single agent. Okay. Now this agent has what this agent has to perform after they have this web scraping thing, then it will summarize it. Okay. So whatever you see, the same agent, the task of this agent is to summarize it. Okay. So if you see the description, so what this agent will do, so whatever web page URL we will pass, if you see this URL, they will use using this fire crawl tool and scrap the web page content and then write a summary. And how your summary should be? Your summary should be like one page sentence descriptions, 3 to 5 bullet points should be there in these descriptions, and any notable links should be there. So this is the task of the agent. Okay. And then if you go, this is the, something we are trying to replicate it one. It's like a starting your agent. Okay. And this is the main from where it will start. Okay. This is your agent. So this is your agent.py where we are defining the agent, what your agent will do. And then there is a one more file. Okay, this is called main.py file. So whenever you see any code, there are, few files that are important. And again, you will look for the starting file. That is your starter file, that we call it. Okay, the main entry point. So this main.py is entry point. Whenever you run your applications, first file that will hit by the interpreter is main.py. So this is your main.py. Okay. So once you go down, you have all these things. So there is the files that we are trying to access. So Crew AI, then Fast API. This is again a backend. So Fast API is a module for backend creation. So how your front end and backend will talk to each other. Okay. So in this one, there is something called pydantic also. This is to give you a structured output. Okay. But the important thing is that, this is to initialize your fast API. The fast API usage of fast API is to, create a backend so that it can talk to your front end. Now the important is line number 38. What is the use of this line number 38? So if you see, there is something called a static index.html. Okay. So if you go here in this folder, we have a static and index.html. In this index.html, it is nothing but it's a simple HTML code. Okay, HTML. It will be developed by the front end developer. Okay, those people will give you this UI, and what you see in main.py, the input, you see the UI screen is your index.html. Okay, your UI screen is index.html. That is why you are trying to pass it. Then how we want your output? So this is again a class, and how I want my output. Everything is defining in get crew, an agent we are adding it, and how we want summarizations and everything you see in this code. Okay. The same thing is there what we have seen in agent.py, but here we want how your application should start. That is why you are putting it in main.py. It is nothing but it's a backend within this fast API. And in the API endpoint, we have three endpoint. One is get, okay, endpoint. So it will access your index file. That is your, you can say the UI, and it is health second API endpoint. This is by default, it is there. But the third endpoint, the fast API endpoint is /summarize. Okay. So it will give you the summary of the, whatever it is scrapped by the tool, and then it will pass to the LLM. So that is why we need this API endpoint called /summarize. Okay. So now we have this code, and again, you will see there is something called GitHub.workflows. In this one, why we need? Because once you push your code to the GitHub, okay, in the main branch, then your application will start, executing it, and it will start deploying it. So that is why we need this Azure Web App.yaml file. Okay. So in this YAML file, you see, just remember it, there is something called Crew AI Agent 01. So you have to create this one inside the Azure Web App. So I'll show you this one where it is. Okay. And one more thing, if you see, there is something called profile, Web App profile. Okay. We have this Azure Web App name. We'll create it inside your Azure Web App. Then you have a secret. This is Azure Web App public profile. Okay. So this is your applications. Okay. So now we'll go to our, GitHub, and we'll try to push the code. Okay. So in this GitHub, as if you see this one, let me share my screen, entire screen again. Okay. Yeah, you can get the GitHub repo, no issues. Okay. You can get. So let me share my entire screen. Okay. And then it will make sense for us. Yes, yes. You'll get it, the GitHub repo, no issues. Okay. So now let me come back to screen. And there is something called GitHub. Okay. So in this GitHub, if you go the code part, okay. So okay, just give me 30 seconds. Let me share my this screen. So now we were in this screen. Okay. Now come to this one. Then it will make sense. So what we'll try to do it is we have this code. So git push origin main. Whenever I write this one, my code will be pushed to this one. Then it will go to GitHub. Okay, from my local, GitHub. Whatever I have this VS Code. From VS Code, if I write in this terminal git push origin main, it will go to the GitHub. It will go to the main branch. Okay, then it will trigger GitHub Actions. Okay, it will run it on Ubuntu latest runner, and then it will be deployed on Azure App Service, which is running on Linux. Okay, operating systems. Okay, so this is what we are trying to do it. Okay, so now come to few of the commands. Okay, so how you are going to deploy it? If you see, I have shown you this folder .github/workflows/azure-web-app.yaml. Okay, so once I deploy my applications from local to GitHub, on the push in the main branch, this will start executing, the jobs will start executing, the deploy, then the steps will use, and it will finally deploy my applications. Okay, these are the deployment steps basically. And this is the name of the web applications. Okay, you have to create it within this Azure ecosystems. Okay, so and another thing that you need is this one, Azure Web App Publish Profile. Okay, so let me cross it and let's go to few commands here. Okay, so something that you need within this GitHub secret is Azure Web App Publish Profile. And in the Azure ecosystems, you need all these things because in our code, we have seen we have a Grok API was there in dot environmental variable. Firecrawl API was there, LLM provider was there, and there is something called SCM do builder during deployment. This is by default. You have to add inside this Azure app settings. Okay. So this is what we have to achieve it. Now, so few things that you see. Now let me come back to this one. This is the provisioning. Okay. So let's come to few of the commands basically. Okay. Then we'll go with the branching and this strategy. Okay. Let's come back. Okay. What we are trying to do it. Okay. Now we have the code. Okay. So now this code, whatever we have, will go to our GitHub repo. So this is our GitHub repo. Okay. So whatever code was there in my local is pushed to my GitHub repo. This is my GitHub repo. Okay. If you see this one. Okay. GitHub repo. How we have done this? Okay. What you have to do? You have to write git push origin main as the code is already there. So it will show you up to date. Okay. This one. Okay. So directly it is there in the main branch. Okay. If you see, it is in the main branch. So everything is up to date. It is in main branch. If you see, okay, this code is in main branch. So once you go to your GitHub, okay, you'll see your code like this, something like this. So let me scroll down. Its code is in the main branch. Okay, always it's in main branch. Then it will trigger. So if you go down, everything is there. Every single code is there. Okay. Now the important thing is that there is something called settings. You have to go in the settings. In this setting part, you have to go in the left side and go in this something called secrets and variable. And there is something called actions. Okay. So once you go in the actions, okay, secrets and variable in the actions, you see Azure Web App Publish profile is there. And from where it is coming? It is, again, let me share my entire screen. Hope entire screen, uh, it will make sense to you people. Okay. So Azure Web App Publish profile is there. Okay. And from where it is coming? If you see this one, it is coming from here. It is inside my workflows folder, workflows, webapp.yaml. So from where we can get this one? From where we can get this one? So you have to go to this, Azure portal. Okay. And in this Azure portal, what you have to do, typically in the deployment, you have to create a resource group. You have to create a resource group. You can create from here, resource group typically. Okay, those who don't know, you can create it from here. You can put it the resource group name and you can create. Okay, but as I have already created a resource group, let me go to the resource group and RG Crew AI agent that I have created. So always, whenever you try to deploy any of the applications on Azure, you need this resource group, this first resource group. And within that, you add few services. So in this one, there is one service. There are two services. One is service plan and there is an app service that I have created. So you have to go to this Crew AI agent. Okay. This is the app service. Or how you can create it? You go to this resource group. Okay. Go to the Crew AI agent, okay, and then just type in create. In this create, type app service, okay. You have to type app service. So once you type in the app service, you will have something different, something called app service plan and web app, okay. You have to click it, web app, and in the web app, you have to create it, okay. This is how you will create this one web app inside this your resource group. As I have already created it, so let me go to this Crew AI agent. Okay. So once you go to the Crew AI agent, the something that you needed is you have to go to this left side. Okay. This is your web app. Name of the web application is Crew AI agent that you have provided it. Okay. You can have different name as well, but it is a web applications. Inside this web applications, you have to go inside something called settings. Inside this setting, two things are very much important. Okay. One is environmental variable. So you have to go to this environmental variable. And if you see, there is add button. Okay. In the add button, you will add this environmental variable and this values. As I have already added it, if you see Firecrawl API key, Grok API key, LLM provider, or SCM2 builder, that was already there that you have to add. Okay. And these values are coming from if you go here, from where it is coming? From the environmental variable. These all, there are three environmental variable that we see. It is there, all these three environmental variable. And by default, you have to add SCM2 builder. Okay. And you have to put is true. Okay. This is your app setting inside this environmental variable. Now you have to go to this something called configuration file, okay, within this web applications. And what you have to do, you have to tick this SCM basic auth publishing credentials. Tick, you have to tick it. And then you have to go down, everything is ticked. And you have to do apply. That's all. You don't need to do anything. Okay. Then go up. Okay. Then there is something called stack setting. So you have to go to the stack settings. In this stack settings, you have to select this Python and version. As the code is written in the Python and the version of this code is 3.12. Okay. So now you have to go down and there is one more command. Okay. So one command is bash startup.sh. From where it is coming, you have to add it. So it is coming from here, startup.sh. So how your application will start? this information is in bash as such, okay, shell command. So now this you have to add bash startup.sh, okay, and then you have to add apply. So now web application part, whatever we needed, we have added it. So whatever we require inside our web app.yaml, as we needed the web application name that we have added and the web publish profile. And from where we will get this web publish profile. Now, okay, now come to our Azure app. So if you see this one, download web publish profile. Okay. So from here, we are getting this web publish profile information. So you have to go here, you have to click right and open Sublime text. Okay. And whatever is there inside this one, you have to copy it. Okay. So this is inside your web app that, publish, Azure web app publish profile. And why we need this one? Go back here. We have taken from here and copied it. Okay. Now again, come back to our Azure, this one action part. So if you see this Azure web app publish profile, okay, you can go here, new repository, and the name of this web app publish profile from the YAML one. From here, we have got it. Okay. Now you have to paste it here and add secret. As I have already added it, you have to add it like this here. Okay. Because whenever your application, whenever you push your code from local, once it is in the main branch, it will trigger, it will start doing these all jobs. And once they find all these jobs, it will deploy your application to Azure web app. Okay. As I have already added, let me go back. Okay. And let's add, a few things. Okay. Now everything is set. Okay. Now come back to our PPT. Okay. As everything is set now. Now what we'll do, something called a branching strategy. Okay. As my code is already in the main branch, but let's say if you are changing something, okay, so for that you need some branching strategy. For example, in your organizations, let's say there are five people who are working, two are UI and one is a backend developer, one is a AI engineer. Okay, so let's say someone has created some change in the UI part. So they will have to take this branching strategy. Okay. And then they will deploy it to the main. Okay. So this branching strategy is used because more people are working on the same project. They are modifying it. They are enhancing the product. Okay. So that is why we needed a branching strategy. Okay. So for example, what you have to do, the in the main branch, for example, let's say you have to do something called git checkout main. Okay. Just copy it and just put it here. Okay. Let's check it. So it's already in the main branch. Okay. Now git pull main. Okay. Just put it. So it is in the main up to date. Okay. Now add this one. Git checkout -v main branch headline, demo headline. Okay. Switch to a new branch called feature. Okay. Demo headline. We have switched to this branch. Then what you have to do, let's say edit static in the or main.py. Okay. So let's do some changes in your applications. Let's say in the index.html, let's say, let me add height to 90%. Control S. Okay. Just a small change. Okay. Now just add this git add, Control C. Okay. Control V. Okay. Working copy of this index HTML. Okay. And then what you have to do, you have to add git commit demo headline. Just copy paste. Okay. So one file change, one insertions, one deletions, these things you'll see, okay? Whatever changes you have made, it will reflect here, okay? Then git push origin, okay? That you have to do. Feature, okay? So if you see this one, the demo one, so let's go to our repo. If you see there is a feature created, okay? So there is a feature demo headline that you have created. Okay. If you go here, one more branch was created. So let's hit this branch. Okay. So we are not in the main branch. Okay. We are in the feature branch. Let's say one of your colleague is working on this feature branch. Okay. So you can put your name also, feature slash your name also, so that it is identifiable. Okay. So we are in this feature branch. Okay. Once we are in this feature branch, so how you can merge it? So directly you can merge it from here also, compare and pull request. Okay. So this is something called a PR. Just create a PR. Okay. New feature station. Okay. Assign yourself, create a pull request. Okay. So once you have created this pull request and ready to merge pull request, configure, confirm merge. Okay. So this will merge your pull request. Okay. PR is raised. Okay. So now go to your code. Okay. It's in the main. Go to action. And if you see this one is running, the merge, whatever changes we have made, it is running. Okay. Our web app is getting deployed from here only, from the local. Okay. It is getting deployed. So why it is getting deployed? The reason is that, what was the reason? If you go here, come back, we have made some changes, created a pull request is accepted. Then it is triggering the GitHub Actions. We are in this GitHub Actions. That is why we are seeing this deployment part. And now once it is done, then you will see this, the deployment part happening on the Azure. Okay. So now let's come back to our GitHub Actions and click this deploy one. So if you see this one, it is running. Okay. And it will take some time. Okay. But in this one, we come to our this slide and we'll try to understand. Okay. So what we are trying to do here is we're trying to deploy our, one crew AI agent. We have created one agent and we are trying to deploy it using GitHub Actions. We have modified our applications, okay, in the UI part. Also, you can modify in the backend. You can raise a PR, okay. And again, in the industry, PR are evaluated. They are, they are not merged to the main branch. There are people who will look into this PR, they will evaluate this PR, and then they will merge it to the main code. Because once you merge it to the main code, main branch, it will be deployed. Your action will be triggered. So once your action is triggered, then it will be deployed on Azure App Service. Okay. So this is what it is happening and it will take some time. Okay. As it is running in the background, we'll wait. Okay. So now coming to the few more slides. So again, we have pushed this code to the main, and that is why our jobs are running on the your GitHub action part that we have seen it. Okay. Now the secrets parts that we have already seen, that we have added, this published profile from the Azure app settings on the GitHub actions in the setting part of that action within that. Okay. And inside this Azure app, we have added these credentials. Okay. That we have already seen it. Okay. Now coming to There are a few errors that you will also, you'll see. Okay, the startup.sh that we have already seen it through this. If you have backend as a, fast API, in that case, you have this startup.sh. Okay, so you have to add these things inside this startup.sh, unicorn, all these things to run your application. This is the starting your applications. Okay. So that is why this file should be always be there. Okay. Now there are some failures that you will get. Okay. So let's come back to our deployment part and let's see. Okay, it is running. Okay, let it run. Now, some of the challenges that you will see. So the few things that I have seen while deployment. Okay, your page will be deployed. Okay, but you will not get web page. For that, you'll see something you needed some libraries. So that is why in the main.py file you see these things are added, because there would be a case where your deployment will say it's a success, but you will not get the right page. So also you have to check it. And some errors that you will get is 503. Even I was getting, okay, during these productions, okay, when I was just personalizing it. So also you people may get, so in that case, how you have to solve it? You have to add these things inside your main.py and in requirement.txt few of the libraries, okay, that you have to add. Okay, now again come back to next slide and we'll see this is for observability. So how you can add observability, because once your application is live, how you can add observability. Okay, so before I show you this one, okay, you see our application has run. Okay, so these things, if you see, the job is completed. Okay. Job is completed. So go up, and if you see line number 41, it is giving me an app service URL. What you have to do, you have to hit this one. So once you hit this one, our application is deployed. Okay. Our application is deployed. So I am giving you this URL. You will also open this URL. Okay. So this is our application is live here. Okay. Now, as our application is operationalized, it's live. What is the task of our agent? So if you pass this URL, one URL, it is hard-coded one. So what it will do, it will summarize it and give me the content in the bullet form. That is the task of that agent, that wave research analyst agent will do. Okay. So let's wait, and it will give us the summary of whatever they have, those pages inside that content will be summarized for us. So what they will use? They will use a tool called fire crawl tool, plus they will pass those content to LLM. Okay. So this may take some seconds. Okay. So as it is predicting 30 within that 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Now we are getting this response. So what it is doing, so whatever web page we have given, it is giving us the summary. It is giving us the report. Okay. And from where we are getting it? The scrapped content from this website. And it is giving us information in bullet point, because the task of this agent, if you see, go to the agent one. What was the task of agent? Summary in 3 to 5 bullet point, if you see this one. Okay. So that is why we are getting the summary in 5 bullet point. And also it is giving us a link from where it is giving us a summary. Okay. So if you see this one, any notable link. Okay. So that is why we are getting the link also. Okay. So our agent is giving us the response. Okay. The summary as well as the link. So this is the agent that we have deployed end to end. Okay. Any questions, anybody? Okay. And also access the URL that I have given to you. Now come to something called ML flow. Okay. So how you are going to, observe it. It's called observability tool. So also after once you have this one, you can also add this observability tools. You can track the, your agent performance. So ML flow is one place. Okay. Now coming to this ML flow, once you have this, this is open source. So there is something called AI gateway. There is something called endpoint. Okay. And there are different models available. Okay. So you can create the endpoint, you can pass, you can use the tracking, the model provider, and everything you can set. And also, once you set it, you will find the logs, the usage, and also you can set the budget. For example, you do not want your LLM to use, consume, let's say, after 1 lakh of tokens, you feel like it's the threshold. So you can set the threshold. You can select the budget. Okay. For example, let's say if you have said, let's say 1 lakh rupees, let's say for 2 months, 3 months. Okay. So after once you get, the cost, something hitting this threshold, you'll get a notifications that your applications is surpassing this, threshold or all these things. So tracking, observability, all these things can be tracked using this uh, open source tool, ML Flow. There are also tools called LangFuse, LangSmith. That also we will read in this, this course. Okay. So hope you have enjoyed the sessions. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay. Any questions, anybody? Okay, if you people don't have any questions, and I have also shared, the syllabus. Okay, if you feel asking any questions, GenAIML Tech team is there. So, you can reach out to GenAIML Tech team. Okay, for this course durations, fee structures. Okay, and the supports that we typically provide. Okay, so you can reach out to GenAIML Tech team. Okay, so thank you so much.